All right, so welcome everyone to Beyond Enough-ness Day 1. And believe me, it wasn't as easy for me to actually join here and show up for you, fully showing that I am enough, because everybody, like all of us, we always have this. We might always have this like sort of things that happen in our lives that make us feel like we are not enough. And even though I'm talking about this very subject, last week I had such a heavy feeling like I'm not really enough. And actually it spilled over this week, but this time I realized that it always happened for me like this, that my um the things that I do for other moms turn out to be the very medicine that I need in that particular moment. So this is just magic. This is like, you know, when I started planning this retreat, I didn't know I will need it. I felt like this is something that I know moms need. Some of them, many of them. Uh, you probably might be feeling like you need it too, since you're here. Uh, but I felt like I'm okay, I'm good. I was just integrating my fear, the visualize as a tiger, and I felt like I can Mama, jestem na wizji. Amelka, nagrywa się. Wiem. All right, this is my little one. Say hello and bye bye. And hello! Już przerywnik skończony. Leć do dużego pokoju, dobra? Mela, majtki ci widać. This is perfectly okay in this group. This is perfectly fine if you join calls and your kids show up. We are all open to all those kind of appearances, so I don't stress out about my daughter showing up in my videos. And you shouldn't be, if you join live, you shouldn't be afraid to like you shouldn't be feel any kind of shame or anything if your kids appear, um if you don't have this focused time for just for yourself, because we don't always have that, and it's enough. It's good. It's enough just that we just show up. It's perfectly okay. So what I was saying, um when I was creating this retreat, when I was planning it, I didn't know I will need the very medicine that I'm going to actually pour into this container right now for you. And I was fine. I was in that very powerful kind of energy that I'm going to change the world. And then, like last week, it started happening. I have no idea. Maybe it's something in the sky. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's me. Maybe it just happened. Maybe it was meant to be. Because, as I said, this is the very medicine that I feel I need right now. And this is what I'm delivering for both me and you, for all of us. So, allowing myself to just be, despite the fact that it's not perfect. I had a very detailed plan about what I should post every day before this retreat. I didn't follow it at all. I just went with whatever I was able to do, because that's also part of that. If you are a mom feeling that you do too little because you don't follow a plan that someone else prepared, or you don't do all the things on your checklist every day, don't focus on the things you haven't done. Focus on the things you have done. And also add those that you did, all those side quests that you did, even though you didn't plan them, because that will show your subconscious mind that you are actually doing way more than you give yourself credit for. And today, I just want us all to show up. I just want us all to come here to be together, even if you're just watching the replay. This is still joining this energy that we are actually enough, even though even if nobody shows up on my live, which is perfectly okay because I know my strong side is recorded content, not this kind of, I don't know, maybe. Um, but the thing is, I am enough, and I'm just showing up for myself and for you because we all need to process this medicine that I'm pouring into this. So why did I even came up with the idea of this container right now? This is because my greatest mission, I'm not afraid to use that word right now. I used to be afraid of that, but this is actually what I want to bring into the world. My greatest mission here is to help moms shift how the society views motherhood. So I want us to feel fulfilled in what we do, because when we feel fulfilled, we parent from a very different place. Have you noticed that when you feel like you are doing a great job, when you feel like everything is flowing, you parent from a different place. Your children are more like emotionally regulated, their nervous systems are more regulated. You are more present. Everybody is more joyful. And parenting just flows. Parenting just flows. And children raised in such environment grow up to be much more um, emotionally safe, fulfilled in life, resilient, and they bring in much more of that feeling of overflow, abundance, self-love, all of that. It's just shifting the place from which we parent. And when we do that, uh, we so in order to do that, we need to start thinking differently about ourselves. And because we need to start with ourselves. Like many moms say, we don't have support. We don't have enough support. The village is non-existent. We are all alone, isolated. And while that might be true, I noticed in many cases, we don't allow ourselves to accept help. This is what happened to me with my firstborn when he was born. This is what happens to many of my clients. This is what happens to many people, many mothers I talk to, that I'd rather just do that myself because nobody will do it the way I want it to be done. Have you noticed that kind of thinking? So this is something we all do subconsciously. Because since we were very little girls, we were conditioned to believe that we need to be self-sufficient and we need to be perfect and we need to be good and polite. Everybody told us all those things. Maybe not everybody, but there was always someone telling you that you should be more polite, you should be better, you should be nicer, you should speak calmer and quieter, and you should be always prepared for school. You should have everything ready, and you should be reliant, and you should be self-reliant. I mean, and you should be responsible. And this is all that pressure put on us from very young age that shows up right now as this kind of not being able to accept help, even if someone shows up for us. Like for me, it happened when my mother-in-law tried to help me around my apartment when my firstborn was a baby, because I felt like I should have been doing that myself for some reason. And she just wanted to be helpful because it was also her first grandchild. and she just wanted to feel fulfilled as a grandma. And it took me a lot of willpower not to refuse her help. I managed to go through that. I talked to myself, like I had constant arguments in my mind about the fact that she is doing the dishes or mopping floors or anything, or just holding my baby while he was napping. And the thing is, we need to start with ourselves. This is what I wanted to illustrate with that example. We need to start with ourselves, because that's how we create that shift, that change in the society, so that everybody starts accepting the fact that motherhood is not supposed to be one person job. Like, you are the mom, of course, but there has to be the village. There has to be other people around you. Actually, in like those old societies thousands of years ago, um, when a woman was alone with her baby, it meant she was going to not survive. So we are wired to have support when we are mothering a baby. So if you are all alone, isolated with your baby, that triggers your nervous system, and you start getting those anxious thoughts. And you may start thinking that you're not enough because you're alone. And how can you be everybody for that child and for everyone else? Because this is another thing, that we are also conditioned that we need to help others all around us, even though we have our own family. But we are also expected to somehow show up for everyone else, even though we are left without support. But we are also trained not to have those boundaries. Like, if someone asks you for a favor to, I don't know, give them a lift or something, and you say no without any explicit reason, just because you are tired and you need that time to reset. Like, having a reason, like having an appointment at that same time, is okay. But if you say, I cannot do that because I'm already tired after a whole day with my kids, they will get offended. So this is also something that's stuck in our subconscious, that we can actually shift with our own attention, our own willpower, and intention. So this is my vision, my mission in this world, in this group. That's why I created Awakened Mothers Rising, and that's why I created Motherlight. Because I want to create this shift, and I realize we need to start with ourselves. So if we start with people around us, but we still don't accept that help, won't change anything. So we need to start with ourselves, with shifting how we perceive our own enoughness, how we perceive how we show up for ourselves, how we show up for our children. That will create the ripple effect. That will help our children see that self-care is a must. It's not a luxury, it's a must. And they will feel they're allowed for self-care when they grow up. That will show other moms that this is okay to actually do those things and to feel enough and still have time for yourself. This will show other people, when you set those boundaries, it will show other people that mothers do need boundaries and are allowed to have them, and that we all can and should support that. So this ripple effect will this will create this ripple effect in the society, and this will change how the world perceives motherhood. And I know it's not like a one generation shift to be created, but if we start now, there is a big chance our daughters and our sons won't have to do all that work. So we are doing that literally for our children, for their generation. We might not see the change, or maybe we will, because the change will start with ourselves. The change will start in our environments. And then the ripple effect will go further on, and we will start shifting the society for our children to grow in. Also, by changing those limiting beliefs in our minds, we show our children that it's possible and what is possible. Also, I started as a parenting coach. So first, I was a teacher in a primary school, and I worked with children. And there's something that always comes back in a state school system, that you can only do as much as a teacher. But if the parents, the family is not supported, the child will go back to the environment that doesn't support their like optimal growth and development. So that's why I started actually working with moms as a coach, parenting coach, to show them, because sometimes there were those moms, and maybe you are one of those too, that realize the way we have been parented is not what we. All right, so where was I? So I realized that many of us moms realize that the way we were parented is far from perfect. But there are those patterns that we learned. And even if we want to parent from a different place, sometimes we just don't have the tools, don't have the means to do that. So that's why I started with parenting coaching, giving you the tools, helping you shift those things that are stuck in our subconscious, like things that trigger us. So maybe you have noticed that when your child does things that you weren't allowed to do, it triggers you, and you may get nervous, angry, snap at the kids, even though they don't do anything wrong. They just do something that you weren't allowed to, because it wasn't accepted at that time. Maybe it is accepted now. Maybe you are more open-minded than your parents were. Maybe you just want to parent from a different place, more like connection rather than control. So all these things combined, you still need to do all the inner work, because you might notice that when you want to parent differently, your subconscious will still try to trick you, and you will go back to the patterns. That's why I started as a parenting coach, and I still do that, but this is not my main focus. I realized that what really empowers moms is following their own dreams, following their own purpose. So that's why I created Motherlight, and I will be talking more about that on day 3 if you want that. If you want to truly learn how to shine your light into your environment, not only your family, but the world around you. This is what I'm doing here in the Awakened Mothers Rising. So I'm all clear about what I do, how I do it. Motherlight is a relatively new program. There, it's still at the beta pricing, so you might want to see what that's all about. So I started as a teacher, and when my son was 2, I was going through a very difficult time, and the educational system was a mess at that point here in Poland. And I went through a mental breakdown, which directly led me to discovering emotional regulation. And that was the point when I realized that my own emotions, that my anxiety was actually influencing, impacting how my 2-year-old was functioning. Because when I became more anxious because of work in other areas, like feeling not good enough, he started being more anxious. He had sleeping problems. He wouldn't let me leave home. Like a 2-year-old still is quite attached to mom. So it didn't seem like something different, sometimes something wrong, but it was suddenly much more severe. That he cried whenever I left home. Um, and he wouldn't like fall asleep and all those things. And I realized that I made that decision that I need to actually take care of my own emotions at that point. That's when I discovered emotional regulation and started working on that. And that directly led me to coaching and then started my spiritual journey. I had my spiritual awakening when I was giving birth to my second child, my daughter. And when that happened, I started diving more and more into spirituality, connection to Mother Gaia, the universe, and all those energies. That's why, then this was the most impactful thing in my growth journey. That's why I want to share that with all of you because I know this is so powerful. I know that for sure from my own experience. And if you want to like also um start shining your light just like I do now, unapologetically, even though I'm alone talking to my camera on Zoom right now. Because like I know this group is a relatively new one and maybe more people will join as the group grows. Um, I'm still showing up and I'm still shining my light because nothing is going to stop me from shining my light. This is what I want to show all of you that can bring the biggest change, not only to the world, as I said, with my mission and everything, but also to your own life. Because when you show up from this fully aligned with your soul place, you show up differently for everyone. And life brings you more joy, more support, love, time, and abundance. So everything falls into place when you start shining your light from your soul. So discovering that light from your soul, and that always brings you back to that place that you will never, ever, ever feel stuck in that feeling of not being good enough. Like I was in that place throughout the week. But now I have my own medicine, I have my own tools, and I know that this is just a temporary, like, uh, kind of wavy way of going. And this actually served a purpose because I wouldn't be able to show up fully for this retreat if I didn't go through this feeling before, right before it, so that I can share all that, all that pain of feeling not good enough. Because if you're an empath, and I believe all of you are, this kind of feeling may show up as a physical pain. So this is um so important and so powerful. All right. So what I actually want to talk about, because I haven't even started the subject yet, um, there are 5 things that I notice that actually create this feeling of not being good enough. And now I would like you to take your journal and write down which ones of those resonate with you the most, because this is what you will be focusing on in your inner work. Um, so first thing is unrealistic expectations. We've been taught, and this is what I already said today, we've been taught that we need to be everything. We need to be good, polite, quiet, nice, beautiful, but strong. We need to be quiet, but have our own voice. We need to breastfeed, but we need to bottle feed. So we need to be everything. Because if you are not, there will always be someone who will tell you you're doing something wrong. It's impossible. You cannot be a working mom and a stay-at-home mom at the same time. You cannot breastfeed and bottle and exclusively breastfeed and exclusively bottle feed at the same time. And there will always be someone who will tell you you need to do this, and there will always be someone who will tell you need to do that. These are just examples, but this is to show you how contrary those expectations can be. We are supposed to be nice, quiet, and polite. On the other hand, we are supposed to stand up for ourselves and our children. Because if you don't stand up for your children, you're a bad mom. You neglect them. You don't fight for them. But if you do fight for them, they will say you're not polite and nice. This is the thing. This is the thing. There's always someone telling you you're doing something wrong. And this connects directly to the second thing, which is mom guilt. Because if people have been telling you all the time, you're doing this wrong and this wrong and this wrong and this wrong, it begins to wire your subconscious mind, to program your brain. And that creates this inner critic. So this is number 2 and 3, actually. This inner critic that is in your head. My inner critic for many years had the voice of my own mother. And this creates the mom guilt. Because if you've been hearing that you shouldn't be doing this, but you keep doing it because you know it's good for you, for your children, for your family, this is your decision, you might still feel this sting of mom guilt because you do this, like self-care. You should be devoting, sacrificing yourself for your family. And if you carve out 5 minutes to put on a face mask and your child cries because they want their bread cut in rectangles, not in triangles, you're a bad mom because you sat down for 5 minutes instead of hovering over your child and cutting the bread exactly as they want. So that's the reason behind the mom guilt. It's not that you do something wrong. It's just that you cannot fulfill everybody's expectations. And those expectations, because we've been growing up in this kind of environment, they're stuck in our heads. So unrealistic expectations, mom guilt, and inner critic, these are the 3 things. And then come the wrong idea about boundaries. This self-sacrifice thing. We've been told that we need to do everything for everybody. And look how convenient it is for other people. They can always lean on us. So the moment you start setting healthy boundaries, somebody might feel offended. But those who really care about you, they won't. They will actually be grateful. So boundaries are not walls. They don't separate people. They are sacred pathways for communication. It's simply about stating your own needs. So if my child asks me to prepare another toast because the previous one was there was something wrong about I put ketchup on it and she wanted it without ketchup or something, I may say okay if it's okay for me to like get up and create and make something else. But if I just sat down with my own, I don't know, coffee or toast or anything, I might as well say, honey, I will make it in 5 minutes because I just sat down and I just want to have my coffee now. And it's a boundary. It's a boundary because if I just got up and made it feeling resentful about it, because, oh, she wants yet another thing, that would create um, disconnection between us. Because I will be disconnected, I will be angry, I will be resentful. And if I simply say, I will do that in 5 minutes, that's a simple boundary. If I communicate with my husband about, I don't know, house chores, uh, dividing house chores, and I might just do everything because I know best how to do all those things, that will be no boundary and I will end up resentful about housework. If we talk about that, like, I want to do this and I want you to do that, or how can we share those things? Like, he, like, actually, that was the wrong example because that still puts me in the position of the manager. And we don't want to be managers for our partners, we want to be partners for our partners. So for example, I can say that I noticed something, there are things that need to be done, and he might just say, okay, I will do this and that. That's just communication. I noticed we need to do like the laundry and we need to do the dishwasher, and he will just step up. Um, but I know many partners are not like that. They might not feel the responsibility of doing that. So simply stating um how you feel and what you expect for the future. It's just communication, but it's also a boundary. Like, I'm not going to do everything. We need to take responsibility for it. Will never be 50-50. So just don't even try to do that 50-50. But just communicating your place and allowing them to step up in certain areas that feel good for them. Like, my husband usually cooks, I usually clean up. And it's perfectly okay for me to clean up when he cooks. Um, and since I work from home and he works outside of home, when he's at work, I take like most of the housework on myself, and it feels like balance for me. So it can be very different for every family. If you work outside of the house, your husband works at home or partner, you might negotiate or just state how you feel about housework chores. It's a just communication. But don't do that from this place of resentment. Do that from this place of mutual respect and self-love. What you want for yourself, what does your higher self want for yourself? I haven't even started the topic of higher self, so we have like 15 minutes, but still I think we will be able to jump into that, but bear with me. The fifth thing on my list is lack of support and isolation. This is what I already talked about, that in the prehistoric time when a mother was alone with her babies, they wouldn't survive. And this is why our mind, our brain is wired for connection with the society. That might also be the reason why women might be more outgoing to just to survive, because sometimes you need to drop your kids at your friend's place and do something. Sometimes she will drop her kids at your place so that she can do something. Sometimes there are grandmas, sometimes there are um neighbors who just enjoy spending time with your kids. So all of those people, um in the past, that was like the basic thing that was there. Right now we usually don't have that, but the thing is, this is something we can create when we start believing that the village is there but it's just waiting for us to actually allow it in. We create it. It's just like with manifestation. Like when you need someone to support you as a mom, just believing that it's possible, that it's happening, that it will be here, and I am part of that, it will create the shift. Because the village is there. Many people, like just like with my mother-in-law, I felt that I need to do everything on my own. Yet she still stepped up. And if I were resentful and told her that I don't need help, I can perfectly like do that on my own, or I would just say that she put the plates in on the shelf where I usually put cups, and I cannot find anything in my own kitchen. I really bit my tongue not to do those things because I knew this would be like, all right, where was it? The kids. Um, Lack of support and isolation. So the village is there. It is there. We just learned that we no we not that we learned. We started believing that we don't need it. We started believing that we shouldn't need it. And it's just rewiring our brain and believing that the village is there and they will step up. And there's always someone waiting for you to reach out for help or to support them. Because sometimes all we need to do is to offer somebody what we need. If you need help with your kids, maybe there's another mom who needs the same thing. And then you can start swapping. Like I said, drop your kids at her place on one day, she will drop her kids at your place on another day. And you can start this kind of exchange of support. Um, all right. So if you feel like you don't have time for anything, for yourself, your growth, shining your own light because your parenting, your motherhood takes up all of your time, this will happen. Like you won't have the time because as moms, we have kids that will steal every free minute in our own life. And I know that this is the thing. Like you can see I'm on video and my daughter keeps on entering because maybe I haven't filled her attention cup before this session well enough. We were on a long walk, but then we came back and I just gave them some food and left them. Maybe I should have connected a bit deeper with them just before going live. Um, anyway, you need to make the time. So connect with your higher self first. You can close your eyes, take a deep breath. Well, let's do that. It will take us like 5 minutes, so we will still make it. Just a couple of deep breaths. And visualize your higher self in front of you. For me, she is my big sister. This is what I call her in my mind. She's my big sister. Your higher self might be not a person, might be someone else. Like I knew a woman who said that her higher self is actually a man. Um, but just visualize what your higher self might look like. And you can simply ask her, what do you want for me in this life? And just listen, what do you want for me in this life? You can pause the recording now if you need more time, or you can just move on. So I want you to write it down in your journal, what she told you. What does she want you for your life? Oh, and if you feel like you need a bit deeper connection to find your higher self, you haven't connected with her yet, in the classroom there is course. It's a free course, but I think it's unlocked on level 2. It's called Connecting Through Gaia, and there is a guided meditation there, connecting with your higher self. It's day 2 in Connecting Through Gaia. So in order to get to level 2 in the group, you just need to post something, create a post or comment in the group. And if 5 people like it, you get to level 2. So that's all it takes. If 5 people like your comment, you are at level 2. So it's just about showing up. So let's show up. And when you watch this recording, I would actually want you to go to the group, find the reflection post in Beyond Enough-ness Day 1, and write what your biggest reflections, aha moments from this video were. And when 5 people like your comment, and like other people's comments too, and when 5 people like your comment, you will be at level 2, and you will be able to watch that Connecting Through Gaia course in the classroom. So what does your higher self want you? How does she want you to connect, to show up for yourself in this life? Whatever she told you, it takes just the decision to actually start working towards that. For me, it's empowering all those mothers who feel like they're stuck in their lives, who feel like they're in this hamster wheel, moving forward in any area while your kids grow, and you actually begin missing those precious moments that when they were a little, and they were littler, and where did those cute little kids go? All right, so connecting with your higher self has also another very impactful quality. It's very simple. When you get used to that, it will happen like instantly. You can just close your eyes and connect with her. When you are used to listening to that inner critic, to that voice of mom guilt in your head, that sets you up for failure, because you will always believe in the worst case scenario. Whenever that happens and you notice it, because the most difficult part is actually noticing your inner dialogue, your inner monologue in your head. Whenever you notice your inner monologue is rather negative, it's the inner critic, it's the thought that I'm not good enough. Tune into your higher self. Just connect with her and ask her what she thinks about that very thing. Because believe me, she will never tell you anything negative. She will never criticize you. She will never tell you you're not good enough. She will always speak from the place of love. She will always speak from the place of support. So that's why this is such an important, impactful thing, to just connect with your higher self. And you can do that like instantly in any moment of your life. In any moment. When you find her once, you will always be able to connect with her and communicate with her. So just let me know in the comments in the reflection post, what are you deciding now? How are you, how to phrase that? What is your decision about how you are going to show up for yourself from now on. Are you going to show up from that position of mom guilt and not good enoughness? Or are you going to show up from the place as your higher self sees you? So let me know, how do you decide to show up from now on? And tomorrow we will do something a bit more experiential, less content, less knowledge, less information, more more guided practices. Let me just see. Not this one. This one. Nice cheat sheet. So tomorrow we will be talking about living from overflow. So we will be tapping into this energy of not only of also being enough, but also having enough and living from that place of your cup overflowing. So how would your life look if in every area where you feel not good enough, you are going beyond that point of enoughness, when your cup is actually overflowing with enoughness, with abundance, with all the yummy juicy things that you want to invite into your life, be that love, time, energy, support, or abundance. All of that, all of that, because we can have all of that: love, time, energy, support, and abundance. On day 3, we are going to ground and learn how to shine your light fully, unapologetically, and how that can look for you. So let me know what your decision is today and which of the next 2 days you feel more excited about. This is all for today. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the post, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time.